Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Yang, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested to migrate to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once we have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Now I'm trying to talk to all the viewers just like a friend throughout all the channels and videos, as I have shared a lot more news coming up. Now yesterday there has been a news published by the Financial Review in regards to the international education sector. Now obviously it's a very hot topics. Now since the change have taken place, we have received numerous contacts and calls from our international education friends or colleagues basically complaining what is actually happening, and some of them actually very depressed, where they view that potentially there's gonna be a lot of colleges gonna close down, certainly in regards to a lot of English language colleges. Now because of the visa requirement have raised up the English level required by all the students, for example, going into diploma certificates, bachelor and also master courses. Now that will actually trigger all the overseas students to actually get their English done before they apply a visa. So that means they won't, the interest to come into Australia to solely study English will drop a lot of percentage then. Now let's have a look at the news, what it's actually happening, and this is very updated information. As you can see, this only came out from 18th of April, yesterday at 4:43 p.m. The title reads, International Student Numbers Slumps as Reform Bite. Now this is exactly what the government wants. They want less students, they want less pressure on the housing and demands. So let's have a read and then I'll provide some of my views and what you can do if you still want have that interest to come to Australia at the end of this video. Alright, so tougher visa conditions and strict checks finally taken on the toll of the foreign students. So on the month of March, there's only 46,570 students landed in Australia, which is the lowest since 2014. That's 10 years. Wow. And cutting out of the pandemic, even during the pandemic, there were about 44,260 arrivals. That's during pandemic. That's during when the time where COVID restriction, and where, if you recall, when you board on a plane, there's only probably 1 or 2 people on the plane, and they were still 44,260 back then. But just the month of March, that 2 weeks ago that had just passed, Australia only welcomed 46,570,000 students. That is extremely low. That is like kicking everyone back into the COVID pandemic period. Now, talking about people leaving as well, there has been 39,860 students left. So that's a lot. If we counter that towards what has arrived, that's only a few thousand arrive. That means it's actually balancing up. And the migration expert Abdul Rizvi is also talking about the major shift and changes that will shake up a $40 billion export sector. Now, obviously, you may notice that international education is the 4th largest export sector for Australia. Now, it would definitely change the demographic and the economy of Australia now, and that is why there has been a prediction, and within the industry, there's a little bit of insight here. There will definitely be numbers of colleges going down. They're going to close down, bankrupt, file administrations, things that you will see for the coming month. So bear in mind, if you really wanted to come to Australia, you need to find a good in this institution. Best to be university, not private colleges or TAFE at this point in time. Even the TAFE had sent us an email in regards to the raise up of the English requirement to, I believe, was IELTS 6. Now you cannot imagine starting a tradesman works, cookery courses require IELTS 6. Now that's the standards now. Anyway, let's continue to check out the news. There's a crackdown takes hold. That means that it's cracking down at this point of time. Remember, there has been 120,000 the COVID pandemic visa holders. That's the subclass 408 that will soon ended, and people will start leaving Australia. Well, I think there has been already numbers of them starting from March, and I believe it will go along to around end of the year. All of these 120,000 will left Australia. Okay, and blunt instruments. So there's Phil Honeywood, the Chief Executive of International Education Association of Australia, said that migration was a hot button political issue. International student, largest single group contributing to the temporary migration. So definitely this action that has been done by the government of Australia will have a major balance on the housing crisis, so-called. So that's what's happening there, and it seems to be it's continue to be more effects come in the coming month. Now let's shift back. Obviously we have been talking about, and a lot of people has experienced visa refusals. So I would like to give you a little bit of advice what should be done. Now if you have interest and you have not lodged the student visas, maybe you need to take a little bit of pause, not to go into the hot the hot red areas where potentially if you lodge the visa, it's likely to get a refusal. Now what you can do now is best is to improve your English proficiency as high as you can, and for the choices and options on the study or programs, perhaps you really want to pick something that's a higher education. Again, we have been telling everybody on this channel that picking up the higher education is, well, obviously the highest success rate areas, and ditch those colleges or institutions, or they are about 2 university that have been ranked on level 3, which means once you lodge, it's highly likely to get rejected as well. So do not go into that area there. Now if you have already experienced student visa refusals, what do you do? Okay, obviously do not relodge it again, do not resubmit it again. Some of the agents they may, well, depends. If you're unsure, some of the agent may ask you to actually appeal against the decisions, which is costly, first of all. Secondly, the success rate is, if the courses that you have picked is still going to be the same, the same ratio likelihood to actually get refused is still there, because it's pinned into the policy and regulations already. So my suggestion is probably take it back. If you need to leave the country, you do so. If you have not arrived in Australia, that's even better. And wait for at least a semester. That's about half year, where we hit towards end of year and reapply for the 2025's admission. I think that will be a better timing there, because by then a lot of things must have been already cleared out. And during the time, try to improve your English proficiency as high as possible and choose a better program. And if you have already experienced student refusal, give the refusal decision to the colleges or institution and request for a refund, because by then you should already get your money back at least. I know the student visa application will not be refunded, but at least you get your bulk of the tuition fee back. Anyway, should you have more question and query more, then welcome to leave comment right down below, and I see you next video. Goodbye.